Konnichiwa minasan, welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going over 15 Bedwars tips and tricks about GameSense as fast as possible. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first tip I'd like to talk about is fireball and TNT jumping, which is undoubtedly one of the most important parts of the game because you can escape very easily using them. I'd suggest learning like fireball jump, TNT jump and double TNT jump if you really need to. But other than those three, I wouldn't suggest learning like 3 or 4 TNT jumping stuff. Anyway, to fireball jump, just run and fireball your feet. You're just gonna go forward and you can jump and fireball as well, and that will give you some extra boost in the height area you can say. And TNT jumping is also simple. Just place the TNT, wait 3 seconds and then jump in whichever direction you want to go and you get propelled. For double TNT jumping, however, you need to like place a block, 2 blocks behind the block, place a TNT and then place another TNT simultaneously on top of the block. Wait 3 seconds, jump on the block and go. It's gonna propel you 2 times forward and it gives you that extra bit of boost that you're lacking. The second tip I'd like to tell you all about is which bed defense to place. There are a variety of bed defenses you can place, but only some of them are really good. Any cube based bed defense users can please leave the video right now or come back if you actually want to know how to place a good bed defense. So a single layer of wool ought to do the trick in solos and doubles. Even if you want to place wood and wool, that's fine. In stone, I wouldn't really recommend waiting for 24 iron. It's not worth it. And a double layer is also pretty good, but a single layer is usually fine if you really want to play the rushing style game. In triples and quadruples, I'd suggest endstone and then wood and wool, like a 3 layers. And if you get enough M's, get an obby defense and just place that below, and you'll be pretty much set for the whole game. But the important thing is don't make it too big. Otherwise, people will get inside the bed defense, and then you will not be able to say protect your bed, and then it's the end for you. So medium to small size, and depends on the right blocks you have. A third very important tip is which side to rush. If you rush the wrong way, your bed will straight away die and it can annoy other people, especially you, green team. I'm looking at you. You should have leaving that. Rush the side which has the least number of blocks to go with. 48 is usually the sweet spot, but I usually go with 56 after placing down my bed defense. So what ends up happening is if you rush, oh my god, Autumn, if you rush the wrong side, your bed will straight away go because the person has rushed the correct way, and you'll annoy the shit out of someone who's rushing the correct way, and it's not worth it. Especially, why do you want to annoy someone like that? So in maps like Speedway and Airshow, just rush the dimension and rush the base next to it. On maps like Lighthouse, rush sideways to the nearest base. And on fast iron maps, I guess you can rush whichever side you wish to. I don't know, if you continually play fast iron maps, there's something wrong with you, and it's okay. But in all seriousness, rushing the correct way is another key to success. Tip number 4, diamond upgrades and emeralds. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen people lose because they don't get diamond upgrades and they don't take notice of emeralds. I mean, if you think about it, diamond upgrades are your key to success. Sharpness, protection 2, minor fatigue. I mean, come on, they're so useful. If you use them, you're straight away gonna win more. As you can see in this clip, I keep getting destroyed because this guy has sharp and prod. So what's the best way to beat him? Get the same armor and stuff yourself. Get diamond upgrades. As soon as you get it, you can easily destroy people. And emeralds, I mean, come on, they're so useful. Potions, ender pearls, obsidian, so much of this stuff can help you win the game easily. Take notice of this stuff. Tip number 5. This is something I should do but I don't do, but it can be really helpful. It's basically, you see the leaderboard. If you see somebody who has got a bed right after you or before you, you should target that person because he's probably going to be really good. And if you get the really good people out first, you're going to have an easier time later in the game. Simple, and something I should do, but I don't, and you should do it. Tip number 6 is a no-brainer. Look at what your opponent has in his hand and look at his position. If he has an ender pearl, you know if knocking him into the void is not enough. If he has a fireball, don't go on bridges too much. You are bound to get fireballed off. If he has a TNT, you know he's coming for you with that. If his sword glows, you know he is sharp and you know he can deal severe amounts of damage. Things like this will help you out a long way. And if he stands near an edge, just knock him off. I mean, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. Just do it. Tip number 7. Bridge fights. You're playing Bedwars. You're bound to have bridge fights. I mean, come on. Bridging is literally a part of the game. One thing to take note though is knocking your enemy into the void is much better than fighting them straight on. If you do, you can still die, but once they're in the void, they literally can't do anything. I mean, they're falling to their doom. So try and aim your sword or fist. I mean, I'm not judging if you're using your fist to the void. Aim it a little bit right or a little bit left, depending on whatever your preference is. High ground is especially important because fall damage gives you a little bit of immunity, and you can always bridge over them. And you can even avoid fights altogether. Just bridge to the side and bridge over. This is especially important if you need to clutch, which is basically winning without a bed. So yeah, that's very important. Do not ignore it. Tip number 8 leads directly from tip number 7, which is basically learning how to clutch. If you lose your bed, you have to know how to win. You can still win. You don't require to leave the game and join another game. So if you want to clutch, the best advice I can give you is go for M's. If you can get M's, you can get really stacked, and then you can take a fight without any real PvP skill, which is always useful. And then diamond gems, don't ignore them. As I've said before, they can be crucial for your victory. Try and loot the bases which have already been cleared off, and see if you can break the bed of the most talented player out there. If you can't, leave it, it's okay. Wait until it's over. I mean, if you don't have the time and you just want to play, you can obviously leave. That's spoiling your win streak, isn't it? Tip number 9 is installing wave client. Tip number 9 is in fact improving your PvP and bridging. So if you're slow bridging even in 2021, please learn how to speed bridge. It barely takes any time and it increases your rushing capability tenfold. And PvP is always good to have. If you suck at PvP, then you basically suck at the game, so get good, son. Tip number 10 talks about a different kind of clutching. Block clutching and ender pearl clutching. Both of these are extremely useful. That will help you live for a longer time. If you fall off the map, ender pearl back. If you're going to get knocked off, release a block. It's as simple as that. But really, it's not simple, is it? So I'd recommend clutching servers where you just get knocked back and you practice clutching with blocks. And that's the really only important thing. Ender pearl clutching is easy. If you can't do it, then refer to the end of tip 9. Tip number 11 is all about what you should buy in the shop. I know it's a bit late, but here are the basic things you need to buy. Wool, 100%. And stone and wood for defending the bed only if you want. Tools, definitely. TNT, yes. Golden apple, yes. Stone sword, yes. Iron sword, I wouldn't recommend it if you still have a bed. Diamond sword is a big no. Diamond armor is up to you, but I personally wouldn't suggest it. Iron armor, yes. Chain armor, again up to you. And ender pearls, yes. Potions, yes. Bridge eggs and pop-up towers and such, again I wouldn't really suggest it. Ladders only if you're a tryhard. Bow and arrow is a controversial topic. It's really useful, but people don't like it, so I'd suggest you just buy it if you have the gold. And knockback sticks are pretty good, so get them as well. Finally, fireballs are a big yes. Tip number 12, hotkeys. If you use your scroll wheel, you're bound to be very slow, so use hotkeys for everything. Like for example, I have my 7th slot as F, 8th slot as G, and 9th slot as R, and I have 1 to 6 just located over here. My sprint key is the same, my shift key is the same, and that's it. That's all you need. Just practice hotkeying, another very important aspect. Tip number 13 is pretty much knowing the maps. Some maps are fast iron, some maps are slow iron, and other maps have common features like the location of emerald generators, how many emerald generators, location of diamond generators, which side to bridge to first. And I don't expect you to learn all the maps, I just expect you to learn these common features which will really help you and boost your gameplay to the next level. And don't play only fast iron maps you degenerate. For tip 14, I just dipped and decided that I'll tell you something about PvP. Learn W tapping and or block hitting. It's gonna definitely increase your PvP skill. And I'm not the best person to explain this, but I'm sure Intel Edits, who is probably one of the best YouTubers at PvP, can explain this really well. Just watch his video. And yeah, now for the final tip, tip 15, the most anticipated tip of all. It's gonna be a banger. It's something you definitely need to do in all your games. No matter what you do, if you don't do this tip, you're pretty much done for. Get good.